Megan, Melissa, and Maureen all vanished without a trace, their lives erased along the lonely shores of Long Island. These weren't just random disappearances, they were the first clues in a terrifying nightmare that would haunt the quiet coastal towns for years. What happened to these women, and who could commit such unthinkable crimes in plain sight? This is the story of the Long Island serial killer, where real-life horror unfolds beyond anything you could imagine. The story begins in the quiet coastal towns of Long Island, New York, where the ocean breeze carried an eerie silence that no one could explain. For years, the sleepy beaches had been a place for locals and tourists to relax. But beneath the sand and waves, a terrifying secret was buried, one that would shake the nation to its core. It all started in December 2010, when the remains of a woman were discovered in a remote marshland near Gilgo Beach. She was the first of many, but no one could have guessed just how many victims would follow. As the investigation unfolded, authorities uncovered a chilling pattern: multiple bodies, all women, carefully hidden along a stretch of the Long Island coastline. Most were believed to be vulnerable women, some working as escorts or struggling with addiction. The killer seemed to be targeting those society often overlooked. What made the case more haunting was the way these women vanished without a trace for years. Families lived in agony, hoping for answers that never came. The police were under intense pressure to solve the mystery, but the killer remained invisible, leaving behind only silence and sorrow. The media quickly dubbed the unknown perpetrator the Long Island serial killer, but the hunt was anything but simple. The terrain was vast and dangerous, with bodies scattered across sandy dunes, tidal marshes, and dense woods. Investigators had to piece together clues from limited evidence, while trying to protect the fragile dignity of each victim. As the investigation deepened, strange connections began to emerge. Some victims shared links to the same social circles, while others had subtle ties to individuals who seemed suspiciously close to the case. Authorities discovered that the killer was meticulous, removing identifying marks from the bodies and sometimes even moving them after initial burial. This careful planning suggested a mind that was cold, calculated, and deeply disturbed. One of the most shocking twists came when a potential suspect surfaced, someone who had a seemingly normal life, blending into the community without raising alarms. Yet, despite intense scrutiny, no solid proof could tie this person to the murders. The lack of concrete evidence kept the killer free, lurking in the shadows, while the victims' stories remained unfinished. Years passed, and the case became a symbol of frustration for law enforcement and heartbreak for the families. Still, the killer was never caught, and the trail gradually grew cold. New theories emerged, suggesting multiple perpetrators or even a network involved in these crimes, but nothing was confirmed. In recent times, renewed interest in the case sparked fresh investigations. Advances in forensic technology brought hope that someday the truth would finally surface. DNA testing and digital analysis offered new leads, but the killer's identity remains a mystery, buried beneath the waves and sands of Long Island. This chilling saga reminds us that evil can hide in the most unsuspecting places, and sometimes the darkest horrors unfold where we least expect them. The Long Island serial killer may never be caught, but the memory of the victims lives on, urging us never to forget their stories and the real-life horror that still lingers along those quiet shores.